Okay, so we are going to start the third number discussion. Okay, Shalini is ready with the written questions and reports. So we'll start with reports and the questions.
Thero Ansarana Swamin Wahanse. I was right. 11 questions today.
Right.
First one, most venerable Bhante, walking meditation. I chose the sand pathway. At the beginning, felt the sand was rough and some small stones prickled my feet. Gradually, the sand became smooth and sticking to the feet. There was no difference between the sand and the feet. I walked slowly and effortlessly, almost walked while sleeping. Felt the lightness almost walked while sleeping.
While sleepy.
Sleeping. I walked slowly and effortlessly, almost walked while sleeping. Must have felt sleepy. Sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
Felt the lightness and didn't have any thoughts, less distractions. Normally my breath get prominent when I do walking too. As the breath was becoming more noticeable, wanted to do the sitting meditation. Meditation. Anapanasati was a primary object. The breath was warm after the walk. After a few minutes, the breath was, I noted that in-breath and out were very soft and mild. Few thoughts came. I was able to identify it fast and came back to my attention to breath. My hands gradually became numb. When I continued breathing, a dark blue, very dark, well-like lindak wage type thing appeared, a big dark patch. There were light green weeds type of a thing around the well patch. As I was looking at it, the green weeds cleared the area and the dark blue patch became bigger and bigger. In the morning sessions, I noticed the above, and in the evening, same incident occurred. But there were light blue and white few patches like clouds appeared and disappeared. My mind was very calm. Breathing was happening. There were no distractions or thoughts. I was in a very peaceful moment. Also, I noted the numbness of the hands were gone and the body was very light. Venerable Bhante, my question is, as I am am I in a deep samadhi state or am I tracking the right path for vipassana? Kindly advise.
I feel so in the, seems to be in a samadhi, but not yet into the dhyana, but more into samadhi. You are preparing for deep samadhi in a way. May I know who has written it? Okay. Would you like to come forward? So, is it happening frequently or is this the first time?
No, actually it happened sometimes back. And actually the meditation, the walking, when I was walking, I always had this breath.
So, while walking, are you practicing anapanasati?
Sometimes. So, actually I am used to it. So, this time I thought maybe I am wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just tried. I walked very slowly to get my concentrate on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
So after doing that, I got this. Otherwise, I'm really very much happy with the walking anapanasati.
Yes. The thing is, we need to understand now we are trying to develop 5 faculties.
Yeah.
Particularly, assume that faith is already there. That's why we are continuing. And then effort, mindfulness, concentration and wisdom. Now, if we continue anapanasati while walking, so concentration will develop, but not much into the mindfulness, not much into the, say, vipassana, the wisdom. So, walking has a fair amount of tendency to develop mindfulness and the wisdom. So, it has to happen in a kind of a dynamic way. So, that's why while walking, we promote, okay, you have to quickly pay attention to each and every sensation. So, that makes your mind quite active. And again vigilant, we have to be very active, utterly present, then only you can see the subtle phenomena. So that is the kind of a challenge in a way we have in the walking. So when we practice anapanasati while walking, so we are constantly keeping our attention here. So probably it can also support for concentration, not for the mindfulness, not for the wisdom much. So therefore that's why I recommend basically in walking, just do the walking. Don't merge it with the anapanasati. Always do each and every step, various sensations available, and try to look at them, observe their nature. So that would appear like difficult, but later you will understand it's so beneficial. And on the other hand, while sitting, if your breath disappear and this light emerge, no harm in a way. I mean, you can spend some time in using that to attain even jhana. That is possible. Is it happening consistently every day now?
No, yes, yesterday twice, Swaminathan. And today actually didn't have time to do the walking meditation much.
Right.
And sitting meditation also not much though.
Not much.
Yeah.
So every sitting, are you getting the sign?
Mostly I get a sign, when I sit, but like lights and stuff, I just ignore it. Yeah, other things when I see.
What
yesterday,
you ignore? Light you ignore?
Sometimes I get the lights, colorful lights, brightness and all those things. Those things I don't take much notice, but this one, it was like a very dark blue patch. I can't say it is blue, it is almost like blackish. And then it went down like a well. And then it was like...
So you were following it?
Yes. And slowly the weed type thing went away. And then that time I was watching in it and then it disappeared. And then again yesterday evening, with that same way it appeared, and slightly I saw light blue and white clouds just popping up. And I was just watching it.
One thing is, how are you observing the breath? Now probably we can spend little attention to recognize the characteristics of the breath, rather than, for example, if I am showing you this, so you can simply see the outer appearance. That is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is to see through what is inside. Okay, you can see a few sticks are there, the side movement are there, little labels are here, then the white background is there. So that is where you are going in a way, kind of a penetrative way, to the content of the object. So if you simply surface touch, then you simply see something. So therefore, if you can, even in Anapanasati, if you can simply, rather than simply touching the surface, try to see what are the characteristics. See what are the differences between in-breath and out-breath. Where is it touching? Where is it going in? Where is it coming out?
That I have done it, Swaminathan. Long time I'm doing that as well. Yes. And I have felt many things with the breath. Not only the warmness, not only the coolness, also like sometimes like dusty particles. Some time back it was like a small pencil type of a thing.
So, I mean, currently, nowadays, so when breath becomes subtle, are you getting any kind of bodily sensations?
Yes, I get.
You get? Then better switch to that then. Because then time to time, probably you can spend some time with that light when it is appearing and it is so kind of a stable. Probably you can continue with that, so that we are in a samatha track.
Yes.
On the other hand, when, say, these sensations are more prominent, you switch to them and start observing them, investigating them. Then we are into the vipassana track. So you can travel in both sides, kind of a yuganadha, where you are traveling or we are developing the samatha side as well as the vipassana side. And one day probably you might feel, okay, this is more important. The vipassana, this investigation part is more important. So you can spend more time in that. Therefore, that is worth actually than spending too much into this side.
I do that as well.
Right.
Sometimes I get that, in the body, the differences when it comes and when sometimes it disappears, and hardness and softness, and a lot of things I have.
Yeah, those are the ones actually more important to see their true nature. Because this is a time that we need to investigate those different phenomena. The more and more we observe them, investigate them, the more will be the wisdom. So give more prominence to that. Even while walking, try to see that. What are the different characteristics available while walking? So you already now familiar with while sitting all those characteristics. Same should be available while walking also, and try to recognize them.
Venerable Bhante, walking meditation. When I started the walking meditation and focused my mind on the feet, I felt I'm lifting the leg, moving and placing in the middle of the walk. I felt my legs are heavy and pressing in the choir rug so hard, and roughness of the rug I felt. After about 20 minutes, my mind goes according to the walk, and I can feel from the knee to the toes, so on. I feel beginning, middle, and end of the movement of the leg. After that, I felt my whole legs moving like that. Sitting meditation. After about 45 minutes of walking meditation, I started sitting meditation. In the beginning of the meditation, I felt in-breath and out-breath touch my nostrils. In-breath is cooler and longer than the out-breath. So on about 45 minutes of time, both breaths are slowly getting calm, equal, and like settled. Lastly, I noted I can't feel the breath at that time. I used to go to my primary object at that time again and again. Please advise me.
So basically when breath disappears, so what is that primary object are you referring? May I know who has written that? Sorry? So breath disappeared. So when breath disappears, Anapana available? Sorry? Can you come forward, please? Yeah. I want to know now as you continue, breath disappear. So after that, what
I
are you
can't
doing?
feel the breath actually.
You feel the
I
breath?
can't feel. Yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah. So then, what are you doing?
I'll start
Purposely
mainly
breathing?
purposely. I'll again.
No. That's wrong. So that we need to stop. So actually, breath disappears as a result of a kind of a development. So what we need to do is to keep just quiet at that moment. So let the breath disappear, calm down, relax, and you just be. There's a kind of an order that how this Anapanasati develops. So Buddha starts with Sato Asasati, Sato Pasasati. Basically means, okay, you establish mindfulness on breathing. Simple as that. After that, say if it is longer, shorter, all that characteristics, kind of external characteristics we are trying to recognize. After that, Buddha advised, okay, now you need to see the beginning, the middle, all those subtle characteristics. As a result of that, what happens? So breath calms down. Pasambhayam kaya sankhara. So that means it calms down, relaxes, almost like it disappears. Then if you again forcefully take a breath, that's wrong. So this pasambhayam kaya sankharang indicates, okay, now the body relaxes, breathing relaxes, and it calms down, and almost like no object now. And you need to maintain your attention, by the way, closer to the nostril. So don't do anything, just be there. And just maintain your presence. That's all. That's difficult also. That's difficult because you might fall asleep. Nothing is there because you can easily fall asleep. On the other hand, you might get distracted to various sounds, or you can get distracted to various sights. Mental images can appear. Those also can happen. So these kinds of challenges are there, and you need to overcome all these challenges. So this is the progress. So therefore, if any image come, you need to slowly abandon it. If there are any other, kind of thoughts come, again you need to calm them down, keep the mind quiet. Again, if you feel sleepy, again you need to wake up and maintain the presence. So likewise, if you are able to maintain this state for a while, then probably the next stage will naturally happen. So don't do anything when breath calms down. Just stay there and see. Because several possibilities are there. In case if you are properly handling it, several possibilities are there. One possibility is through Anapanasati you will be getting to the next stage. That is we call Piti Patisangvedi, Sukha Patisangvedi. So those are the other next stages where you feel a lot of rapture, kind of happiness, joy, all those kind of things may naturally happen. Then you can go in the same track. Or else there may be, as the other yogi mentioned, various bodily sensations can happen. Then you can make use of that to change into the dhatu manasikara. So these things only happen if you are just remain calm. So just change that thing, then you can continue. Okay, yeah.
ගෞරවනීය ස්වාමින් වහන්සේ සතිමත් පැවති සිත පිට ගිය බව දැන එම සිතවිල්ලෙන් තවත් සිතවිල්ලකට යන දෙස බැලීම සුදුසුද නැතහොත් මම දැන් මෙතන යයි සිත එතනට ගෙන ආ යුතුයද තෙරුවන් සරණයි
මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ. I කියන්නේ
සතිමත් පැවති සිත පිට ගිය බව දැන එම සිතවිල්ලෙන් තවත් සිතවිල්ලකට යන දෙස බැලීම සුදුසුද? නැතහොත් මම දැන් මෙතන යයි සිතා සිත එතනම තියාගන්න.
හරි. ඒක ඇත්තටම වෙනස් වෙනවා. ඒක එක්කෙනා මත වෙනස් වෙනවා. Tamanට තේරෙනවා නම් දැන් හිත දිහා බලන් ඉන්න පුළුවන්. මෙයා යන ආකාරය, මම නටන ආකාරය බලන් ඉන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් එතකොට ඇත්තටම චිත්තානුපස්සනාව පැත්තෙන් අපිට යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් ආයෙත් ආනාපානයට එන්න ඕනේ කියලා නැත්නම් වෙනත් අරමුණට එන්න ඕනේ කියලා නියමයක් නැහැ. තේරෙනවා නම් හොඳට මේ සිතුවිල්ලක් ආවා. ඒ සිතුවිල්ලට ඔන්න තව සිතුවිල්ලක් ආවා. තව සිතුවිල්ලක් ආතර මේ මුළු චරණයම අපි බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් මේ මුළු හැසිරීමම බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ලොකු කතාවක් එනවා. කතාවක් කියන්නේ ඉතින් මේ මුළු අපිට අපේ හිතේ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය හොඳට හඳුනා ගන්න අවස්ථාවක් සැලසෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක හොඳට සතිමත්ව ප්‍රධානම දේ තමයි එන සිතුවිල්ලක් එකකටවත් අපි අහු වෙලා නැහැ. හැම එකක්ම හුදෙක් සිතුවිල්ලක් පමණයි එතකොට. ඒ සිතුවිල්ලක් මේකත්. ඊළඟට තවත් සිතුවිල්ලක්. මේක තවත් සිතුවිල්ලක්. මේක තවත් සිතුවිල්ලක් කියලා එකක් ඇරෙන්න එකක් එන හැටි බලමින් ඒවැයෙත් ඇතිව නැතිව යන ආකාරය දකිමින් ඉන්න පුළුවන් නම් මෙතන හොඳ අපිට මේ විපස්සනාවට හොඳ පරිසරයක් සකස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ආයි ඔකත් ඇල්ලලා මෙතෙන්ට එන්න ඕනේ කියන නියමයක් නැහැ. හැබැයි Tamanට තේරෙනවා නම් වැඩේ හරියේ නෑ මේ එන සිතුවිලි වලට මාව අහු වුණා. දිගටම මාව ඒක ගහගෙන ගියා. එහෙමනම් එන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ තාම මදි එතන ඉන්න තරම්. So I don't know whether she wants a translation. So the question was basically on to the thoughts, maybe something important we were discussing. So someone was asking, now when there are thoughts, do we need to quickly come back to the primary object? Or else is it possible to observe different thoughts happening one after the other? So depending on the capacity, probably we can stay with the thoughts but not being carried away by thoughts. Various thoughts are there, you can step back and you can watch how one thought comes and goes, how another thought comes and goes, how another thought coming and going. So like that, one after the other, this whole behavior of thoughts can be observed. So there is a very good field for us to develop Chittanupassana. But if you feel that you're being carried away by a thought and completely lost in proliferation, then better you can come back. That indicates that not enough mindfulness is available, not strong mindfulness is available, then you better come back.
Venerable Bhante, how can one avoid personality view when doing a job or attending to daily chores?
Yeah, so that is where the mindfulness extremely important. So where eye making happens due to some kind of an activity. So when different thoughts are coming and trying to praise me as a person, indicate, kind of encourage kind of a personality view that we need to recognize. And once we recognize, we can simply see, I don't need now. I understood this is a kind of a foolish thing. Avijja pacca sankhara. So when ignorance is there, so different formations going to happen. And if I promote it, then I get carried away by that. I am completely again into the personality view. Now, actually before doing that, better practice dhatu manasikara or vedananupassana, chittanupassana to understand the true nature. You know that different aggregates are there. Form aggregate is there, feeling aggregate is there, perceptions, formations, consciousness, different aggregates are there. So the Satipatthana help us to thoroughly understand none of these aggregates are me, myself, or something. They have the nature to come and go. They have the nature to arise and pass away. So this is a kind of a experiment that we are doing, kind of an investigation that we do. So as a result of that, now we may come to an area where our mind does not want to adhere to anything. Doesn't want to say form is myself. Doesn't want to say feelings are myself. Doesn't want to say perceptions are myself. Formations are myself. Consciousness is myself. Because the mind understood through the vipassana, so they have the nature to come and go, arise and pass away. They are quite impermanent, non-self. Now it is easy for you to practice what I have mentioned, where again sometimes mind prefer to start the previous tradition, previous, whatever the previous action, thinking, okay, this is me, this is myself. Various thoughts are coming to support that. So that again you need to step back and watch. So the kind of a continuous mindfulness is necessary to do that. So you can't immediately do that. We can explain it as a theory, but difficult to practically implement it. So that's why we need fair amount of practice. Particularly if you are able to come to a level where mind does not grasp anything at all, that would be a very good platform for you to do this. So you are maintaining that platform, nothing is there, no attachment, no object, and use that as a very good platform to see how again mind go and attach, how again mind go and start telling you, okay, there is you, there I am the best, something like that. So some kind of a self-promoting thought can happen, and that you need to see, and then as a result of that seeing, it will slowly fade away. It will be weakened and it will be diluted. So this is a kind of a process that we have to go through.
Mindful walking. Started walking, observing feet. Thoughts were prominent at the beginning. Walking became automatic and faster after some time. Still, thoughts were there time to time and could identify as thoughts. Mindful sitting. Breathing was observed, and at the beginning it was rough. Could identify the difference between inhale and exhale. After some time, breathing was soft and could not identify the difference between inhale and exhale. Kept watching. After some time, when I came to awareness, I got to know that I was being in an unknown state around 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. May I know who has written that? Unknown state? I need to know. Can you come? So we want to know what is unknown state. So can you explain again a little bit how you approach that? It happens while sitting, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Just I cannot remember what time I went to the unknown state.
Mm-hmm.
After coming to the awareness only, I knew that I was in unknown state.
So, I mean, before arriving that, what were you doing?
Observing breath.
Uh-huh.
And breath was soft. So I observed this Dhanena. Then I cannot remember anything.
You can't remember anything?
Yeah.
How long?
Must be about 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Is your neck like this?
After coming to the awareness?
Yeah?
I was a little bit numb.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't remember how my neck was. But
you're not aware of anything?
Not aware of anything. But after some time I was, after the sitting I was happy and energetic.
Mm-hmm. But I feel it's more into the sleepiness. Sleepiness in the sense, it's a kind of a samadhi, but merged with sleepiness, it's not much useful in that sense. So probably while walking, what are you doing? What is your experience while walking?
Walking was fast. Before the sitting, walking was fast, and I felt it automatic.
Are you able to experience different sensations, and are you investigating them?
Different sensation means
on your foot, say hardness, softness, and these kind of vibrations, movements. These kind of, that subtle sensations that we were talking, the elements, characteristics?
Not really.
Not really?
I just felt the feet.
Felt what?
I just felt the feet.
Feet, uh-huh.
And my mind was in the feet. That's all, sir.
That's all?
Yeah.
In daily activities, how your mind, reacts?
These days, actually, it's full of thoughts.
Full of thought.
Yeah, I can see, I can identify it as a thought.
Uh-huh.
I can see myself dragging into thoughts.
Dragging into thoughts, okay.
Yeah.
So then we need to, do more into walking, because sitting, it seems like mind is coming to a lethargic kind of a state. It's completely step back and, become drowsy. So that is not going to help. So better do more walking. And there also, are you able to arrive fair amount of reduction of thoughts in walking?
Yes.
Okay. So basically
at the beginning they were full of thoughts.
Right.
And later, when a thought comes, I can identify it as a thought.
Okay, fine. You can identify, but at the same time, for some more time, be with the, feet. Feet touching, and that touch sensation is something you can be there, used to be there. So it's a kind of as yesterday I have explained, so it's a kind of a reminder for your thinking mind, wandering mind, to come back and stay there. So again and again, kind of teach your mind to stay there, stay with the feet, stay with that touching sensation, and later you will understand, okay, this process has helped you to establish mindfulness. Now it won't distract, rather it is staying with each and every step. Then after that happens, you can do a kind of investigation. What are the characteristics more available? It is not only this, say, touching sensation. There may be hardness, there may be softness, there may be movements, vibrations, maybe heat, cold, and these are the very fundamental characteristics of our physicality. So those physical characteristics now we are trying to investigate. So we need to go to that. It's a kind of a stepwise process that we are going through. So it has to happen, and then there are also you need to see how they are coming and going, arising and passing away. So now we are into vipassana. So try to be there. So spend less time in sitting now, because if your mind is used to go to that dark place, it's something you need to overcome now. What happens is, when the mind is used to go to a particular place, kind of a samadhi, it becomes registered in the mind. Next time once you sit, automatically it will go there, even without your effort, because it is used to go there. Now you better do more walking and develop mindfulness more than sitting and going to that samadhi.
Dear Bhante, my day one experience was horrible. Mind was running amok. Only at walking sessions managed to keep the mind to some extent calm. However, only thing was to realize I have a turbulent mind. Day 2 was better when having breakfast. Felt the taste, softness and hardness of food. Walking too was mindful. Felt the movements, roughness of the place where feet was kept. Day 3. Morning got up with a determination to overcome all my obstacles. Walking rounds were alone, very mindfully observing all feelings in the feet, roughness, hardness, lightness, etc. Sitting meditation too was somewhat better, although the mind tend to jump away from intended form. Dear Bhante, you conducted the guided meditation sittings today. My ability to follow was so pleasurable. In few seconds, mind was calm and it happened to hold the horns of the mind bull into full control. There are no words to explain. Aha, it is that. Thank you so much. Much merit to you.
Good. Probably Shehan has recorded it. Probably you can carry it so that you can repeat it again and again. Anyway, this is natural. I mean, when we start our practice, so mind is like a bull. So it's a wild bull. It's no tame at all. And it may take some time to tame it. So don't get discouraged. Again and again practice it. Then slowly, definitely you can tame it. Definitely it's a matter of time and again your continuous effort. When it is there, slowly you will understand, okay, now a kind of a change is there. Now it remains calm. And it is with me, fair amount of attention is with the body, that you will understand the change. Till that, just be patient.
Most respected Bhante, the 2 sermons were brilliant and very valuable and insightful. Please, may I humbly ask, what is the difference between vitakka and sankappa? Because where I understood both are thoughts, avyapada or avihingsa or nekkamma vitakka, and avyapada or avihingsa or nekkamma sankappa. Please clarify this linguistic confusion in me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you are correct. There is no much difference. So when the definition given for samma sankappa, it is defined based on nekkamma sankappa, avyapada sankappa, avihingsa sankappa. On the other hand, when we consider the vitakka are twofold in that sense, wholesome thoughts and unwholesome thoughts. The wholesome thoughts are renunciative thoughts, nekkamma sankappa, avyapada sankappa, avihingsa sankappa. Opposite, the unwholesome thoughts, where the kama sankappa, vyapada sankappa, vihingsa sankappa. So therefore, vitakka in that sense and the sankappa are very similar. No much difference. But the thing is now, when it comes to samma sankappa, it's a little broad, by the way. So typically, vitakka is an umbrella term used for, say, what we call wholesome and unwholesome both. But sankappa, typically, samma sankappa is more into the wholesome side. And it is also twofold, either the laukika and the lokottara. Say laukika in the sense, the mundane kind of Sankappa, mundane kind of thoughts, and the supramundane type of thoughts. So that is how Buddha categorized into two areas when it comes to Noble Eightfold Path. So the first few factors are always twofold. It always has the mundane side as well as the supramundane side. So therefore, Sankappa is more into a wholesome side, but Vitakka is more a general term commonly used for wholesome, unwholesome, different thoughts.
Walking meditation. Within about 15 minutes of walking becomes normal. Experience movement of weight from one foot to the other. Hardness on the mat and softness in the feet. Experienced a third person observing the walking as an observer. Sitting meditation. Found rising and falling of the abdomen. After some time, breathing becomes softer and smoother. Body became a complete, solid and was noted. The same. Wanted to scratch the face but couldn't move. That was also noted. With time, body became normal. Noted. Experienced lot of pain in the bottom of part of the body. Noted. And try to focus. Noted. Observed waves of pains moving from one part to another. Noted. At times when pain was noted, it completely subsided. Experienced that I was watching me from front as an observer. With respect, requesting guidance from Bhante.
Good. I mean, you understood the technique. So basically, as we discussed even yesterday, so we need to have a kind of a distance. So we are becoming a distant observer. Not a participated observer, then actually we can't become an observer. So rather we little distant but not distracted. Isn't it? It's a kind of a beautiful balance that we need to have. If you completely absorb, then you are part of the experience. You are not an observer. You are a passenger of the whole thing. And on the other hand, if you are here and you've been distracted, that is also not the correct thing. So you are maintaining certain balance, little distance, not distracted, but able to observe what's really going on. So you understood the technique, and it's a matter of further and continuing it.
Venerable Bhante, from end of last year, I have been observing my thoughts. Now I know where the thoughts come from. I have experienced some thoughts are far away and some cannot be recognized. Some are in pieces, some are completed. Most are coming as short memories. Rarely long-term memories come. I am mindful about these thoughts and not adding anything to them. Please advise, guide me whether I should be practicing Dhammanupassana, as I won't be in the country for a few months.
That's another thought. Maybe planning thoughts. So anyway, you are correct in the sense that certain thoughts are complete, certain thoughts are like fractions. So this is how we may experience as we continue. And probably now you can see certain gaps between thoughts also. See whether you can do that. So as we are not promoting any thinking as such, but see they are merely thoughts. And that means we are not promoting thinking. Rather you see they are merely thoughts. And now probably there are fractions of thoughts, not complete thoughts, fractions of thoughts. And there may be gaps between thoughts as well. Then there may be complete absence of thoughts also can happen. So if it happens, that's another beautiful experience. So we'll discuss that in the Dhamma sermon also. So thoughts are essential for the mind, or are they not essential for the mind? Is the thought mind or mind thought or what? Essential? Go. Yeah, that is necessary in the sense to know their characteristics, their impermanent nature. So once you now say, if I talk like this, now say for example, you see breath coming and going, and certain characteristics of the breath appearing and disappearing. So once you see that, what happened to the breath? Calms down, right? Relaxes, calms down, no breathing at all, almost like. So same thing common to thoughts as well. When you see the thoughts coming and going, then that also calms down. And then actually we need to practice what we call vimochayan chittang asasisamiti sikkati. So promoting the deliverance of the mind, promoting the freedom of the mind, even with thoughts. So now we are not promoting thinking. Instead, we know there's a capacity to just be aware silently. Kind of a silent awareness is possible even without thoughts. So the thoughts are very much like, clouds. Is the clouds essential for the sky? Clouds simply come and go, right? The sky is there. The sky is, blue and far and vast, and it is there, but clouds come and go. Thoughts are like that. Now we are trying to simply be with the sky, not with the clouds. Clouds are impermanent. We can say sky is permanent. Maybe, we'll see. Okay. Yeah, you need to add anything? Yes? Dhammanupassana. Yeah, actually, this is more into Cittanupassana. We can say some Dhammanupassana as well. You know that in the Dhammanupassana, all 5 aggregates are taken into account, taken into consideration. Now, iti rupang, iti rupasa samudayo, iti rupasa atthangamo. Likewise, iti sankhārasa samudayo, iti sankharāya atthangamo. So these different intentions come, different thoughts come, and you know exactly they are there, and you are not promoting them, and then they disappear. And you know how they are coming and how they are going. So that is where the different phenomena, so you are experiencing their complete lifespan, complete cycle you can experience. But the interesting thing is, as a result of that, so they will disappear, and you may experience calmness, the peacefulness, the clarity. Experience that. Just be there then. How long can you be there? 35 minutes? Okay, 30 minutes. So no thoughts at all? Right.
But I have experience with no thought for a long time.
Good. How long time?
A long time is about 30 minutes, 30 or 35 minutes.
No problem. 45? Good. Go for 45. Because the thing is, there's a samadhi when you are going into that. So you can come into animitta, sunyata. So those samadhis are available. More you are practicing in that area.
So I go for the unknown. I don't know what has happened to me. Also, that kind of experience also I had.
Right.
But now I'm not closing my eyes and doing meditation.
You are not closing your eyes?
Yeah.
But no thoughts?
No thoughts.
Good. Okay. Now, that's an interesting area. Now, can you walk while you open eyes without thoughts?
Yeah.
Can. Okay.
Yeah. I do that while I doing my
walking. So where are you keeping your attention?
Sometimes inside my body. Sometimes nowhere.
Nowhere. That's the point. So you need to keep your attention nowhere. Can you keep your attention nowhere?
Yeah. I have practiced.
So that is the place now you need to continue. So don't put your attention to anywhere now. Purposely don't keep attention to anywhere now. Now you need to get into the objectless type of meditation.
So for sitting meditation I did that. When you practicing.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically that is where what we call anisita. Anisita means there is no footing. There is nothing to associate. Your mind does not associate anything now.
To sit for a long time?
Yes, definitely. So it has to become the norm of the mind. Typically our mind associates something. It wants to hang on with something, hold on to something, attach with something. So that is what the typical mundane type of the characteristics of the mind. But as a result of the practice, it has to shift to the complete opposite. How it doesn't want to associate anything, rather it has the capacity to become completely independent now. Anisitocha viharati nachakinchi loke upaditi. Without grasping anything, without associating anything, now the mind can exist by itself. By itself in the sense, completely independent, like freed mind. So maintain that freed mind more and more. That becomes the platform for us to practice.
Bhante, how do you make thinking useful and identify the point when it spills into overthinking?
Yeah, that you need to identify. So when you are mindful, assume that you have to plan a trip. Okay, you are going back. So you are going back. So you are planning. Okay, am I going to call for a cab? Am I going to ask my friend to come and pick me? So different options are there. Now assume that your mind is planning that. Okay, you understood, okay, now this fellow is planning, okay, fine. Anyway, I have to find a solution. Which one I am selecting, okay? Assume that, okay, I am going to call a cab, okay, you decided. Then you assume that you give a call and ask him to come, okay, it's also ready, done. Now, what else? That's done. Now stop. So there is an activity for you to plan, okay, mind is thinking. So you come to a conclusion, taken a decision, and now stop. So likewise, so now the thinking become a kind of a tool for you. Not that you become a victim of thinking, rather we are using thinking as a tool that we can make use of when it is necessary. So that is where Buddha recommend exactly what is recommended in the Vitakka Santana Sutta. When it is necessary, you think. When it is not necessary, you keep it quiet. So it's a kind of a tool. Say you have a, walking stick. So when you need it, when you are walking, maybe you assume that you are pretty old now. So even today, nowadays people are, they donate walking sticks. So probably we can keep it till we become old. So once you really need, say now you are using it. But when it is not necessary, you can keep it aside. So don't every time carry it. When it is necessary, you are using it. So likewise, thinking also like a walking stick at that level. So when it is necessary, you are using it. When it is not necessary, you are keeping it aside.
There's another part to it.
Right.
So this overthinking, kindly explain how one can put these techniques into practice when dealing with the outside world. Example, when you work for a corporate and need to convince the management of an idea, you defend your point until the management approves, and you can take things personally when your idea is dismissed. How do you practice non-self during situations like this and learn not to take things personally?
Good. So basically that's what we want to actually pass the message like. So this practice has to be very practical. It is not a kind of a theoretical stuff. We simply, do it while at Nissarana, then forget it. Rather, all these teachings has to be taken to your life. Make use of your life. Because basically this is the place that eye-making happens. The defilements happen. Maybe not here. You might not get much defilements here. But once you go back, once you are dealing with other people, once you are, at your office environment doing certain administrative tasks, definitely defilements may come. So good question in a way. So basically the point is, so when you are practicing and okay, this is going to happen, I am a bit careful, I am pre-prepared. And again you are mindful. Now you are participating in a meeting. Okay, certain different viewpoints are coming. You are putting your idea also. Now kind of a discussion going on. Assume your idea is a good idea. Understood. But management reluctant to accept it. Maybe a manager is there, but he want to promote his idea. So how are you going to diplomatically put your idea? So you have to use words and you have to convince them. That's why the purpose. Assume that you are able to convince it. Then assume that they accepted it. So on the way back, so how are you feeling? Oh, I am the one, I did it best. Probably they may give me a promotion. Okay, I am the best employee. Without me, they can't run the company. So that is where the eye-making happens. Promoting a self, praising for your brilliance. So all that are eye-making. All that are promoting a self. But if we are able to acknowledge, okay, these are merely thoughts, I have done my task, I have given my contribution and they have accepted it, good. Now let me be quiet. The point is, now as we get into the path, so we become good people. So the good people get, say, wholesome thoughts. And wholesome thoughts are the more careful ones we need to be careful with, because wholesome thoughts now try to prepare another self. A good person. I am a best person. I am a good person. I am a sappurisa now. I am an anagami now. I am the teacher now. So everybody has to listen to me. So you are creating another self. So that's why sometimes there's a beautiful verse. Appaka valuka ganga ananta nibbuta jina. Appaka Valuka Ganga. So all this time, so many eons of Arahants, nobles have arisen and passed away. So we are just another pebble, just another sand particle. That's it. So basically, we just become a normal human being. That's all. No need to become someone special. And we are just doing what is right. And basically, if they accept, good. Not accept, that's also good. Okay.
Day 3, sitting meditation. Thanks to the energetic yoga session conducted by Brother Sanjeeva, fragment homemade coffee from Sister Sujata, most importantly, the clear instruction by Panadure Chandaratana, I experienced most successful sitting meditation. In and out breath was my primary focus. I could clearly identify the short and cool air from my in-breath and warm, long air from out-breath. I could feel the heartbeats, didn't notice much of the tummy movements. After a while, I couldn't feel the heartbeat anymore. Breath also became very, very subtle. I couldn't tell if I went into tranquility or sloth or torpor. There was a blankness, not sure if it was emptiness. I remembered someone mentioned some experience during previous question A. Bhante advised that we should scan the body and look for some other more obvious phenomena to contemplate on. I scanned my body but couldn't find much sensation. I felt cool air brushing my skin and contemplated on the air coming and going, but it didn't last long either. Questions. Actually, I'm not sure how to ask questions at this stage. I think I just need to practice more. Locate a sensation that obvious enough for me to focus on. I also have difficulty to break the things down to fundamental element characteristics. When I felt wind brushing my skin, I told myself there was air and heat elements. It was cooling and it comes and goes. It was my bodily sensation, body consciousness that felt air. The condition keeps changing. There was no permanent self who controls it, but understood these ideas didn't come out by themselves. In other word, no aha moment yet.
So you're expecting it, so it won't happen. So may I know, by the way, who has written it? Yeah, good, aha. So by the way, just continue the practice. So I mean, you understood the method. So anyway, can you pass the mic?
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. So basically, I need to clarify. So can you explain a little bit of sitting practice?
Okay, so during the sitting practice, at the beginning, I was able to observe my in and out breath, and I could feel my heartbeat.
Uh-huh.
And after a while, I couldn't feel my heartbeat at all.
Right.
Nothing at all. And my breath became very, very, very subtle and can barely notice.
Uh-huh.
So then I didn't notice anything.
Right.
So
Are there any thoughts?
No.
No thoughts.
No.
So what did you do?
Then I was trying to figure out what to do.
So kind of doubtful of what to do?
And after a while, I pull myself back and trying to locate some sensation to contemplate on.
Uh-huh.
But I couldn't find anything.
Anything, okay. Good. Do you need anything?
So that's where I was not sure if I really went to the tranquility or I just lost.
Into something, okay. What is your practice in the vipassana? Sorry, in the walking?
My walking, it was quite alright. I could focus on my footing, my movement, and I could feel all the sensations.
So what happened to those sensations?
What happened to those sensations? I just note the sensations, nothing else.
Sorry,
I just took note of the sensations.
You could not. Sorry, I didn't get you.
Oh, I just took note. And noting that there's a sensation.
That's
and
all.
There's a cold, there's a hardness, there's damp on some part of the carpet.
I mean, by doing that, have you noticed their behavior?
Their behavior.
Behavior?
Their behavior. No.
No, I mean, you are observing them, right?
Yes.
So you need to quietly observe them. Now assume that you are a detective and you are going to catch a robber.
Uh-huh.
So are you making shout and observing it, or are you silently trying to catch the robber?
If I'm trying to catch the robber, I should be shouting.
Then robber will fly away.
Okay. Okay.
You have to be quiet, right?
Because you're trying to catch a bird. Okay. Sorry. I thought I'm trying to catch a robber. A thief.
Not robber.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, if I'm trying to catch a bird, it should be quiet. Sorry.
Right. Okay. Now here also the observation has to be very quiet. So now you know exactly. I mean, these sensations are coming. You are naming them now. Oh, this is hardness, this is softness, this is coolness, this is heat, and this and that. So you are capable of naming them now. But stop naming them now. Now see how they are behaving. Say there was no hardness. When there was no hardness, now immediately hardness start appearing. You start feeling it, and after a while it will disappear. It has gone. So this is a kind of a characteristic that you are trying to recognize with a quiet mind, but kind of an inquiring mind. You have a little bit of curiosity. What's going on? You have that mentality. I need to examine it, but quietly. That's why kind of a detective don't know. I mean, it is not yet. He hasn't steal anything yet. So you have to be quiet. Is it maybe an innocent person, maybe a thief? So you need to be very quiet, but with an eye, quite kind of inquiring eye, investigating eye should be there to completely see its behavior. Same thing here also. So try to see how these different characteristics come, change and go. Come, change and go. Then we are basically observing their true nature. So understanding that is essential. So try to do that in walking more and more, and apply the same thing while sitting also. So probably there may be various sensations throughout your body. So keep your attention to that sensation and see, is it behaving the same way which I have seen while I am walking? Kind of an experiment now. And again, are you able to see your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay, what happened to them?
So the thought came and went. Yeah. So the thought came and went.
Went. So you didn't promote it?
Not so much.
Not so much. Okay, good. So that if you are able to see thoughts as thoughts, they also have the same nature. So all phenomena, it's a kind of a universal behavior that we are observing. It may be bodily phenomena, it may be feelings, it may be thoughts, it may be emotions. So all these, either internal, external, all, they have the nature to come and go. They have the nature to come and go. That needs to properly understood, thoroughly understood by direct experience. So that you need to promote now. Then you can say, okay, assume that while you are doing that, while sitting, everything disappears. Then you have arrived that stage entirely through vipassana, not samatha. Because you went through a development of wisdom, so that wisdom is responsible of abandoning things. Then as a result of that, you arrive a peaceful state by abandoning things, not by holding things. Got the point?
Understood. So to summarize, to verify my understanding, so right. I shouldn't inject my own ideas
Correct.
to what I observe.
Definitely
I should
not.
let it happen.
Exactly.
Okay. Understood. Thank you, Penny.
Okay.
One question on Zoom. Venerable Bhante, primary object focused on the feeling of inhaling and exhaling at the upper lip area. As I mindfully focused on the primary object, 3 intense itching sensations were felt here and there on my body, those which happened to appear on one after the other. I did my best to avoid these sensations interrupting my mindful focus on the primary object. However, since I could not bear it any longer, I mindfully scratched the area, allowing my mind to label the action as scratching, scratching. This made the sensation disappear for a few seconds as I continued to focus on the primary object. Most of my body started to itch and it was so intense at the back, so I stopped the meditation. This morning, I was very well as usual. However, as I sat to continue focusing on the primary object, I could not pay attention since all of a sudden the itching sensation started at the back of my head and spread towards the neck and shoulders. I seek the kind and generous guidance of Venerable Bhante.
Definitely, I mean, now make use of that. Use it as a kind of a blessing, because as far as I can see, you can't stop this itching. Rather, you use it for your vipassana. Because you know that when breathing calms down, when breathing happens, your body awareness increase. As a result of that, this natural itching may be available and it becomes so intense. Now pay attention to that and see its nature. So therefore then basically you are making use of this itching rather than trying to avoid it. Rather than diverting your attention to breathing, you can basically start recognizing the itching and its behavior, all that. You are using it as a sensation to your practice.
There is another Sinhala one. Sakmana පාදයේ දැනෙන දැනීම් ස්වභාවයට සිත යොමු කර සක්මන් ආරම්භුවේ. සක්මන 3ක් 4ක් එනම් පියවර 80ක් පමණ එසේ පාදයට යොමු කරගත් අවධානයෙන් මදක් වේගයෙන් සක්මන් කරයි. අවට ශබ්ද වලින් බාධා තිබුණද ඒවා බාධා කර නොගෙන සිත පාදයේ පිහිටවන්නට හැකි වෙයි. එසේ සක්මන් කරන අතරේ සිත එක් වතාවක් සිතුවිල්ලකට ගොස් නැවත සක්මන කරා පැමිණෙයි. සක්මන් පිළිබඳ සටහන් තැබීමට සිත යටින් මිමිනිමක් ගැන දැනුමක් භාවය පැවතුනද
මිමිනීමක් හරි understood
දැනුමක් භාවය පැවතුනද එය බාධාවක් කර නොගත්තේය. පසුව එකවරම පාද දෙකම සරල රේඛාවක්සේ ගමන් කරන ආකාරයට මාරු වීම ගැන පැහැදිලි දැනුවත් බාධාවක් ඇති විය. එසේ දිගටම සක්මන් වට කිහිපයක් සක්මන් කළේය. සක්මන් පටය අවසානයේ එක් පාදයකට බරදී කයේ හැරවීම කෙරෙහි සිත යොමු විය. නැවත අනෙක් පාදය ගැන සිත යොමු විය. It's a long one. It's long about one. four pages.
4 pages. Wow.
3 pages.
Good exercise for you.
සක්මන් අවසානයේ කිහිප වතාවකදීම කය ඔහේ එහෙ මෙහෙ වැටෙනවා ගතියක් පාලනයෙන් තොර වන ස්වභාවය අවස්ථා කිහිපයකින් සිදුවිය. පර්යංකය සක්මනින් පසු පර්යංකය වෙත පිවිස කයට දැනෙන දැනීම් ස්වභාවය කෙරෙහි සුළු වේලාවක් සිත යොමු කොට හුස්ම රැල්ල ගැටෙන ස්ථානය කෙරෙහි අවධානය යොමු කිරීමෙන් පසුව සුළු වේලාවකින් දීර්ඝ ආශ්වාස 3ක් සියුම්ව 3 වරක් පසුව සියුම් වූ ආශ්වාසයද දැනි. සුබ වේලා ටික වේලාවකින් කීයකින්ද නොදැයි ඉක්මනින් හිත පිටුපස බිත්තියට හේතු වී
හිත හේතුණා බිත්තියට
ඉක්මනින්ම නාසිකාවගේ අවධානය පසුව යොදාගෙන සිටියේය. විටින් විට අවස්ථා දෙකකදී ඉබේම කෙල ගිලීමක් සිදු වීද කෙරෙහි සිත යොමු වී නැවත හුස්ම රැල්ල කෙරෙහි යොමු විය. එදිනෙදා කටයුතු වලදී කරන ක්‍රියාවට සිත යොමු කර කිරීමට උත්සාහ කරන අතර සිත යට සිදුවන කියවීම් ස්වභාවය නිසා මෙන් ඉබේම සිත දෙස බැලීමට යොමු වෙනවා. නැවත නැවත කයෙහි සිත පිහිටුවන්නට වෑයම් කරන අතර සක්මනේදී පර්යංකයේදීද එදිනෙදා කටයුතු වලදී බොහෝ අවස්ථාවලදී සිත දෙසත් කය දෙසත් පිටින් සිටින කෙනෙකුසේ දැනෙන්නට වේ. ඉබේ සිදුවන ක්‍රියාවලියක් බොහෝමයක් නිසා වෙයි.
ඇති හොඳයි යන විදිහ හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපිට ක්‍රමය අහුවෙලා තියෙනවා. අපිට වැඩේට වෙන්න ඉඩ දීලා පැත්තකින් ඉඳගෙන ඒක දිහා නිරීක්ෂණය කිරීමේ හැකියාව ටික ටික ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා. දෙකට කරගෙන යන්න. යන විදිහ හොඳයි. විශේෂයෙන් ඉතින් එකතු කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඔය දැනෙන දේවල් අර වෙන කෙනෙක්ගේ දෙයක් දිහා බලනවා වගේ ඒකල විස්තර ටිකක් බලන්න උත්සාහන්ත වෙන්න. උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් අපි තුමු කයේ යම් යම් දැනීම් පහළ වෙනවා. හැබැයි දැන් මට පුළුවන් ඒ දැනීම් හුදෙක් දැනීම් කියන තැන තියලා ඒකට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා එකක් එකක් ගානේ බලා ගන්න. මේක තව දිගට කරන්න. හොඳයි. So we have completed the whole section. So I hope there are no more questions and we'll stop here and we'll have the Dhamma sermon as usual at 4 p.m. Theruvan Sannai.